Okay, what's up? If you're watching this, that is amazing. So far, I have done zero promotion, but that's what I'm about to fix right now. Now, I heard that you guys like to know when a video or a live stream is about to happen. You like to get a little bit of a heads up. So that's what I'm doing. Talking now blindly to the camera, not even seeing how many viewers I have yet. But I'm about to promote, giving let's say a 1 minute head start. 1 minute head start. There are so many fans out there that just can't wait to see the UPNLOADED / Laser Lemming stream that I'm sure they will all be flooding in very shortly. So just posted it to the UPNLOADED Facebook, and now I'm going to post it to the UPNLOADED Twitter? Yes, Twitter. Very up and hip with the kids these days. So I think this is gonna be a pretty good stream. Now, if you're watching, you might be thinking, oh, well, if this is how it's starting, not so sure. But the good news is we currently have 0 viewers, so I haven't embarrassed myself yet. Now, if I keep talking to myself without actually getting any viewers, well, I'll have plenty of embarrassment to spare. But figured a couple things out. Always figuring new things out on this whole live streaming adventure. And yeah, I think it's going to be good. But let's get started with some video games. We're going to play a little game we're going to start with a little game called Fortnite. And I came up with some things I wanted to talk about, but I will wait until I actually get some viewers to talk about anything of substance, or at least anything that I've prepared to talk about. In the meantime, I will save my breath and speak with my eyes. Hey, cool man, what's up? Thanks for joining. Always happy to see you. Cool man. Today we're talking about video games, movies, Roseanne, and whatever else you guys want to talk about. So, as the people flood in, I anticipate a good conversation. Now, I'm currently on squad mode. Sometimes I play squad mode, sometimes I play solo. I haven't done duos yet. I have a feeling if I do duos, I will be nothing but a disappointment to my teammate. Also, I've noticed that I've been playing as the girl a lot lately, and I don't know if that's by choice. Am I able to change that, or is it just random? I feel like it's random. And you'd think with all the times I've streamed this, I would have that clearly pinned down, but I obviously do not. So hold on, there we go. Now you can see the game. Kind of left you hanging there. All right, we got a second viewer. Like I said, already flooding in. The views are flooding in. I can quit my job. Oh man, I want to quit my job. Do you guys have a job? Now, when you don't have a job and you're an adult, all you want is a job. And then when you get the job, you just don't want to have a job. But I say that, knock on wood, you don't want to get fired, because how else could I afford to stream Fortnite and Rocket League and whatever games the heart desires if I can't afford it? It's kind of a chicken and egg thing. If you want to be able to do this for a living, for example, you got to build a following. To build a following, it takes time. But to have that time, you can't work full time. Am I making sense? Am I just rambling? We have a chat box. You could use it. I'll be happy to give you a response about 7 seconds later when it shows up. Also, you know, I have the chat currently kind of live and in your face so you can be in the video. But if y'all aren't comfortable with that, if you don't want your name in the video, but you do want to chat, let me know. I can gauge these sort of things. I can see where the people land on this and go from there. You know what I'm saying? If enough people like seeing the chat on the video, then I'll keep it. If a lot of people would rather chat, and I could read the chat outside of the video. Last time I was not so good at that, but figured it out. figured it out, kind of. Am I making any sense? Let's talk. Let's talk about things. So, lately, I've been playing Fortnite. And it seems like I don't really have much direction. Is there a way to maximize this map? I'm sure there is. How do I do it? There it is. Tab. What do you guys play this on? You guys play it on 360? You guys play it on Xbox, PlayStation, mobile. I'm playing it on PC, as you can see. Now I expand the tab and I'm seeing, oh, there I am, slowly moving on that tab or that map, but there is no indicators of the other players, and I guess that makes sense because it's kind of a free-for-all battle royale kind of mode. So if I could see the other players, it would be kind of cheating, I guess. Now, I'm assuming if you're playing squad mode, you can at least see your squad mates. But we are not doing that. You know, maybe as a handicap, I should be playing in squad mode until I can really nail this game down. But I gotta say, last time I did alright for myself. I ended up at my highest score last time we played. Last time we streamed. I had gotten... What did I get? Oh, somebody already got this. That means somebody was here. But I was number 10. I was 10th place. Cool, man. You still haven't played this game. Well, you know what? That's okay. It took me quite a while to start playing this game. If you did play it, what would you be playing it on? Because on PC, I'll tell you what it's like so far. You move with WASD, the keys, just like you would in pretty much any PC game that you're controlling with a mouse and keyboard. And of course, you shoot and aim with your mouse. You hold the shift key to run. And it's not the most intuitive way to play for a lot of people. I think the movement actually plays just fine. Like, aiming is actually probably easier. There's somebody over there. I'm gonna have to ambush them with my pickaxe. What do you think the odds are that I kill this person? You can crouch. Where'd they go? You think he saw me? I can't. Oh, I can hear him. Nope, 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 nope. Oh no! No, no, no! No! Yes! Oh, sweet victory. Sweet victory. That felt good. That felt good. Because I could hear them. Could you guys hear it? Okay, cool, man. So you said that Fortnite, you says to me, Fortnite just doesn't grab your attention. Well, if that's the case, I am in debt to you even more because you're still watching. Honestly, I enjoy Fortnite, but it's not my favorite game in the world. I also know that a lot of people really enjoy playing it and enjoy watching it. But if this game does not grab your attention, that is perfectly fine. And I'm interested to know what games do grab your attention. Because if I have it, I'm totally down to play it. As you might have seen, we got a new thumbnail for today's stream. I like to change it up. The thumbnail for the streams actually is one of the things that take the longest to prepare for. But yeah, in that thumbnail is a little game called Rocket League. Rocket League, sequel to supersonic acrobatic rocket-powered battle cars. And I'm intending to play a little bit of Rocket League today. But if there's a game that you are interested in playing, or, yeah, sure, playing, watching, whatever, let me know. I'd be happy to play it. But the other main draw, I think, of this show is to talk about whatever, you know, just to talk about things and really interact with each other. I like to just have conversations, you know. I work a job, like I mentioned earlier. But at my job, there's not a lot of people that, No. Okay. At my job, number 33, that's not bad. At my job, how many times can I try to say the sentence? At my job, there's not a lot of people my age or that are interested in the same kinds of things that I am interested in. And I definitely don't work around any of those people that do. So this is a little bit cathartic for me. I enjoy being able to talk about these sort of things and just riff and rant and rave and whatever. But it's a two-way street, you know? I talk, you talk, we all talk. In this case, I do a lot of the talking, but that's fine. That's fine. So, yeah. Cool, man. This game doesn't grab your attention that much. And I could see that. I could totally pick up on that and understand why that would be the case for somebody. For me, it was a little bit of a growing process, and God help me, it still is. Most definitely still is. But as I feel I'm getting better and learning things more, it becomes more fun. Like if I was on an island, for example, this is a common way of justifying things, I guess. But if I was on an island and I had to choose between playing this or not playing this, I guess I would play this game. But if I was stuck on an island, I probably would be trying to get off that island more so than worried about playing Fortnite. So cool, man. You say you could watch it but not play it. That's fine. That's fine. I think I'm kind of the opposite. I think I prefer playing it. But, you know, I've noticed it's so easy to really just get sucked into just watching somebody play a game, more so than I ever thought. But really, oh, crap. Nope, crap. Crap. You think he's mad? Damn. 94th. That's embarrassing. Just embarrassing. But you know what's even more embarrassing? Is 95th. 96, 97, 99. 100th. They should. You know what they really should do? They should. I mean, I guess people would be stupid or whatever, but they should allow you to just splat on the ground. But I'm assuming somebody would lag out. Too many people would lag out, like, and people would splat without even really wanting to splat. Am I making sense? Am I making any sense? All right. So I'm talking about how easy it is to just get entrenched in watching somebody play, and I just did it. Oh look, new updates. You know, that's one beef I have with this game. Almost every time I load this game up, there's a gigabyte plus update. How much space does this game demand of your computer, your console, whatever? That's nuts. That's nuts. I don't know. I don't think that's appropriate. And we lost a viewer. But you know what? I want to talk about some things that are in the news lately, like Roseanne. Y'all know about Roseanne? Her show came back. You remember Roseanne? Maybe you don't. Not everybody was around or watched it when it was first on. But they revived Roseanne. Brought everybody back. They literally revived Dan. Just kind of said, oh yeah, that series finale we did where Dan was secretly dead the whole time. Didn't matter. We were just kidding. Roseanne was just writing. But, yeah, you know what? My wife and I checked it out last night. Saw it on, saw the replay on Hulu. And it was alright. Some of the acting was a little spotty. You could tell that some of these people hadn't been acting in a long time, but for people that hadn't been acting in a long time, it wasn't bad. Wasn't too shabby, all things considered. But yeah, I guess it was super successful. Like 15 or 18 million viewers saw it like live, which is huge. In 2018, that is enormous. That doesn't happen. live TV, network TV, cable TV, it's all dying. They're all getting scared ishless, you know what I'm saying, of streaming, Netflix, HBO now. Like, these services are eating their lunch. That's why you have things like DirecTV now, where they're pretty much directly going after things like Netflix. They're saying, okay, well, we can do that too. And the fact that Roseanne, a revival of Roseanne, scored that kind of, jeez, 75th is better than 94th, I guess, but cool, man. So many reboots and remakes. Yeah, definitely. And we'll talk about that too. But the fact that Roseanne could gather that kind of viewership in 2018 on network TV is humongous, because the options are practically limitless now on when it comes to availability, what you can watch. There's just something for everybody out there now. And the fact that we're not on this structured setup anymore, well, most of us aren't, or we don't have to be. We're not on the structured setup anymore where you have to watch a show at a certain time, or you're gonna miss it for like 3 months before the rerun or something like that. It's not like that anymore. When it was like that, people watched TV a lot, and ratings were big. Numbers like that weren't necessarily uncommon, but things have changed. So the fact that it did so well is making Hollywood look twice at things like Roseanne. Now, she's been in the press a lot lately because of her support for Donald Trump. A lot of people don't like that, and they wrote that into her character in the show. And honestly, when you look at these numbers and how well it did, I think if anything takes that show down, it's not going to be the show itself. It's not going to be the show failing. It's going to be Roseanne herself, because she's such a kind of a wild card. You can't really predict what she's going to do. So, yeah. But yeah, cool, man. You said so many reboots and remakes. This is just one of many, isn't it? What do we have? We had Gilmore Girls. There's NBC is in talks to start The Office back, and that show hasn't been off the air that long. Roseanne was off the air for like 20 years at least, right? 21 years, I think, if it ended in 97. And The Office, I think, ended in, 2011, 2012. So bringing that back already kind of, I mean, I really like that show, but even I liked the last 2 seasons as well, when Michael Scott's character disappeared. He left the show. But a lot of people were not big fans of that, and I understand why. It definitely wasn't as good. And this Office revival would not include him, because he's not interested in that. So you got that. There's also talk of bringing Married with Children back. Speaking of shows from the 80s and 90s coming back. If Roseanne could do it successfully, I think Married with Children could too, because a lot of the actors from that show are still funny. They're still like in pretty good shape, all things considered. And the rumor for that is that Bud, the son on the show, would be the new patriarch of his own family, if you can call him. I don't know if hold on. See, talking too much about the Bundys. This is rude. That's rude. So you can die. I don't even know how. See, I've died so many times. It's so rare that I get a kill that I haven't even figured out the dance button. But let's give this another round. Let's give this another shot. Cool Man says, I heard they might bring back Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I love Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Man, such a good show. So funny. Like, it's one of the most consistently funny shows. Will Smith made the decision himself. He was a producer of the show by that time. But during the 6th season, he said, this is going to be the last season. So they went out on a high note still. They didn't drag on like so many shows do. to the point where it wasn't good anymore. A lot of shows kind of end with a whimper rather than a bang. Fresh Prince was not that show. Now, you're saying that you heard they might bring it back. Well, I think that would be cool. I think there are some things that make me doubt it would actually happen just because, well, first of all, you got some, let's just get the biggest thing out of the way. Will Smith is a huge star. Even though he's not in his prime anymore as far as, like, hits and stuff go. He's still a huge star, and his time is money. Like, you could tell, like, that dude gets paid. I mean, he was getting $20 million a movie in, like, what, 97? Just insane numbers. So for him to do it, he would definitely be doing that as a passion project. Like, he wouldn't be doing it as something to make the big bucks, because you just can't afford him like that. The other elephant in the room here is the fact that Uncle Phil passed away a couple of years ago, and I don't know. Do you want a Fresh Prince without Uncle Phil? There's two different Aunt Vivs. The first one still hates Will Smith with a passion, and the second one could be there, but I don't know. Do you want the second Aunt Viv with no Uncle Phil? And you can't recast Uncle Phil. You just can't. You just can't. And fun fact, if you aren't aware, Uncle Phil voiced Shredder on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, if you didn't know that. And you can actually hear it when you listen. Like, if you know it's him already, you can hear it in his voice, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, so if that got rebooted, I don't know. I think it would be of quality. I just am not sure it would actually happen. Alright, so we gotta get serious here. I hear too many bullets flying. And somebody told me last time that you can't switch which shoulder you're aiming over, which is infuriating for me. But I can hear people. Got him! See? Could you guys hear it? Yeah, no, Uncle Phil would be weird. Cool, man. I agree with you 100%. Did you see that? Did you see the way I shot that guy in the back? That took a lot of skills, a lot of bravery to shoot that guy in the back. All right, what do we got here? See, I got these items that I don't even know. I don't even know what they do. Let's find out together. There we go. So this was my old trusty that helped me shoot that guy in the back. Let's see. I can hear more bullets. Can you guys hear the bullets? Look at that guy. Ah, I'm gonna have to make a shooty hole. Okay. So now that I've exposed myself to everybody. Ooh, out of context, that could look weird. Or that could sound weird. Okay. So yeah, back to the whole... Ooh, that's a nice purple weapon there. What should we do with that? Let's take it. I like that. Purple's the best, right? Purple's the most powerful. Oh, it's a rifle. This is the first real sniper rifle I've had since I think playing the game, or at least the first one I've noticed that I have. So I need to get in a high spot. I need to stop going to the ground with my sniper rifle. And find somebody to shoot at. Find somebody to shoot in the back, like a man. So Cool Man says MTV wanted to bring back Celebrity Deathmatch but canceled it. That would have been cool. I think I heard something about that too. I totally forgot about it though. That would have been really cool. That was a fun show. That's a shame that they canceled it though. Oh man, you guys see him? I can hear. There we go. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Where'd he go? I don't want to lose him. I'm gonna get shot right in the back of the head. You see. Just you wait and see. Alright. Lost him. Lost him. I think he knew I was looking at him. Just had that feeling. You ever had that feeling somebody's looking at you? They probably are. There's a word for that that sense, that, like knowing somebody's in the room. I think it's called hearing. You know what I'm talking about, like when you could just feel somebody walked into the room behind you, staring at you, breathing on you. All right, this is not a mainstream conversation. I keep hearing people, and I don't want to waste my high point, but it's kind of a useless high point if you can't find anybody. And soon enough, that map will be shrinking. Just you see. Uh-oh, I hear something. Oh, crap, what is that? Cool, man, you've had that feeling. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, wait. There we go. I choked there. I choked. Damn. Look at that. You know what he's going to do? He probably saw my purple weapon. He's going to come get my purple weapon. Look at that. 34th. Not my best. Definitely not my worst. Man, I feel like I really wasted that purple weapon. That purple sniper rifle. There it is. No, that's not it. Is it? Is that my weapon? Did it fall to the ground? Alright. And he doesn't even want it. He's like, nah, why would I take that? Oh, he took it. He took it. Well, good for you. Good for you. That's great. But let's oh, thanks for letting me know that you can hear the gunshots. I appreciate that quite a bit. Quite a bit. I've been playing with the audio a lot, even after these streams end, and it is important to know that you can hear me. Oh, obviously you can hear me, but the games I'm playing, I'd like to know that you can hear those too. Now, you know what? One sec here. I put up some notes here. Oh, let's talk about this. What y'all think about the X-Men? The X-Men. You know what I'm talking about? The Marvel series of comics, TV shows, movies. Yeah, you know X-Men. You're probably aware also that Disney is in the process of buying Fox. Well, most of Fox. They're not getting Fox News or Fox Sports. But they are well, assuming this deal goes through, this multi-billion dollar deal goes through, they will get back almost all. No, that's not true. But they'll get back a good chunk of Marvel characters that they didn't have before. They will get, what will they get? X-Men, obviously. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm spacing on. Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom. And I think that's kind of the main extent of what Fox owns. But the X-Men themselves, I mean, Deadpool is included kind of with the X-Men. But the X-Men themselves are a huge cast of characters. I guess that is the majority of the characters they're missing if you kind of break them up individually. The X-Men, there's got to be like hundreds of characters in that universe at least, right? So, yeah, that would be a big deal. Now, oh crap. Is there damage when you fall in this game? Maybe I'm like worried that I'm going to fall and hurt myself or die, but maybe that's not the case. I feel like I have hurt myself falling. Coolman says Disney will screw Marvel. Well, Disney's owned Marvel, I think, since about like what, 2009? I want to say like 2009. Marvel was really scared when Disney bought them. Internally, Marvel's like, what's going to happen with us? That this might not be the coolest. But I think they've kind of been on board since they've mostly been successful. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. And the thing I'm most nervous about with this buy, I mean, there's a few things I'm nervous about that really aren't going to be completely relevant to everybody on this channel. But one of the things that makes me nervous is them getting Deadpool. X-Men, for the most part, has been a PG-13 experience, and that is where Disney is comfortable. They've said so on multiple occasions. Kevin Feige, crap. This dude pays for virtual currency. That's what this dude does. I'm assuming, right? Can you unlock that costume without paying for some kind of virtual currency or paying some kind of real world money? I sincerely doubt it, but y'all can prove me wrong. So Coolman says, you mean that they'll make everything kiddie? Well, that's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm worried that Deadpool is going to either disappear or go the PG-13 route. And that's where Fox actually initially was planning on taking Deadpool. They were initially going to make Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie, a PG-13 movie. And I forgot the dude's name. He doesn't work for Fox anymore. He has kind of harpooned a lot of movies this way. He was spearheading the idea that Deadpool would be a PG-13 movie. And if you've seen Deadpool, try to imagine that movie, same plot and all, kind of neutered to fit the PG-13 rating. I remember actually when the movie came out, there was a mom wrote this, or started this petition, or wrote this letter pleading to Fox to release a PG-13 cut of the movie so her son could see the movie. And that's kind of what I'm nervous about. I mean, not every movie has to be for everybody. Same thing with Logan. I don't think the movie Logan would have happened under Disney. If Disney got X-Men at the same time they bought Marvel, Logan probably never would have happened. Deadpool probably never would have happened, at least not in its current state. Same with Logan. Maybe you would have gotten a Logan movie, but it wouldn't have been that R-rated movie. And Logan was badass. Did you see Logan? I enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, or if you did enjoy it, let me know. I'm up for different opinions. Now, when Disney, let's just say when Disney gets Fox, they're going to have everything. And one thing, since we were talking about X-Men, something that's in the news right now regarding the X-Men is Fox has 2 X-Men movies in production right now. And those are X-Men, The New Mutants, and X-Men... actually, I think the first X-Men is just called... This is confusing. I'm trying to say it's just called The New Mutants. That's what the movie's called. And it's being rumored to be retooled completely as a horror movie. The first trailer dropped for, I think, September or October last year. And it looked like a horror movie. But it was supposedly this PG-13 movie, I think, like most X-Men movies are. But it looks pretty straight-up horror. It's kind of a weird take for the genre or the series. But I kind of dug it just as like a way to freshen things up. As long as it's good, I don't care. That's cool. But the other one was X-Men Dark Phoenix, which I'm personally not really interested in. It's looks like it's a prequel to Jean, the psychic / Phoenix. You know her. She was Cyclops and Wolverine's girlfriend, and very troubled character. In the end of X2, they tease the Phoenix, right? At the last scene, you see just a shot over the water, and it's this aerial shot, and it's moving pretty fast, and then you could just see this shadow of this big bird, this Phoenix, and it was just this, and then it cuts to credits, and it's an awesome tease for X-Men 3, and then X-Men 3 came out, and I was not a fan at all. They changed directors, changed directions, and the writing just wasn't as good. Actually, X2 was co-written by David Hayter, who you might know as Solid Snake, for pretty much every Metal Gear Solid game except Metal Gear Solid 5. I think they really did him dirty on Metal Gear Solid 5, Kojima, too. I like Kojima. He's a very talented guy, but I think he did him dirty. And I think he had a beef with David Hayter, because after Metal Gear Solid 4, and slight spoilers if you haven't played it, but Snake does not die. Snake doesn't die in Metal Gear Solid 4. And David Hayter said that, he should have. Snake's character would have pulled the trigger on himself. And I think Kojima didn't like that. I think that's why he ended up ultimately going with Kiefer Sutherland, which is, you're going for, I need to get into the middle of the map. This thing's going to shrink. I think he went for the Hollywood name, but as soon as they announced Kiefer Sutherland, I thought, okay, well, he's going to be in there for one game. He's too expensive for that kind of thing. Coolman says, for example, I thought Spider-Man Homecoming was overrated. Okay, now we're talking. You know what? I could see that, and to a certain extent, I agree. At the same time, I did think it was an enjoyable movie. My biggest beef with Spider-Man Homecoming was the fact that they went a little too far with some things. The suit, for example, it was really like Spider-Man is in an Iron Man suit. I didn't really dig the whole suit that can talk to you and do everything for you. Like, it would like point his hand essentially in different directions, and everything had some kind of augmented reality overlay. And to a certain extent, that kind of thing could be cool. But I don't think that's how you should like kick off the Marvel Spider-Man that you guys have been waiting for so long. I thought they did some good things. Like, I liked Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I thought he played a good bad guy. If you've watched The Founder, where he is playing the founder, quote unquote, of McDonald's, he's a great villain in that. But yeah, what was your beef, Cool Man or other viewer, with Spider-Man Homecoming? They purposefully tried to, I guess, make it kiddier, in the sense that they wanted Spider-Man to be a child, played by a child. Let's say like a 16-year-old. I don't know how old Tom Holland is, but they fired what's-his-face real quick after The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Marvel, when they... I'm hearing gunshots, feeling gunshots. So how long do you think I could sit here before he gets bored? Where is he? He probably has a real weapon. Okay. This isn't going good for me. This is so tense. He's shooting it. Crap. You think he could shoot this? Break this apart? He missed me. Now I know where he's shooting from. Top of that building. And if I had a weapon that could zoom, oh boy, would he be getting it. Where do you think he is? I think he's like right over there. I'm like using my silencer like that matters. Okay, let's just run. Run. But yeah, I don't know. They kind of played me on Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought I didn't know he wasn't talking to Mary Jane until the very end, or maybe I did, but I just remember hearing the casting for Mary Jane. I thought, oh, that's okay. That's a cool, different direction. But yeah, they kind of played me, but that's just my fault for not paying close enough attention, I guess. But yeah, I said that they purposefully went with Tom Holland because he was young, and Tobey Maguire, and I can't remember the other. Oh, Andrew Garfield. We're not so young. Andrew Garfield, I think, looked a little bit younger than Tobey Maguire did when he started playing a high schooler in Spider-Man. But I don't know. Tobey Maguire was an old dude at that point. But okay, so you wrote, I thought it felt kiddie and no final bloody fight between the Vulture and Spider-Man. Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. But I guess spoilers if you haven't seen Homecoming. And I won't spoil it too deep, but a little bit. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But, I mean, they had that, I think it was a post-credit scene. And pretty much they wanted to keep Vulture alive. You know, because it's Marvelized and serialized and everything needs to just go on forever. Marvel doesn't like to kill characters too often, do they? And I guess that's why Infinity War 1 and 2 are supposed to be such big deals, because characters are going to die. And the biggest reason, it's not because Marvel or Disney want to kill off their cash cows. Far from it. It's because their cash cows are starting to cost them too much cash. I think they would pay Robert Downey Jr. as much money as he wants until he's dead. And they might. They probably won't. I don't think they'll kill him in Iron Man Infinity War. But I don't know about Captain America. I don't know about that red dude. What's the red dude in the... that super, like, he's like practically a god. I don't know why he doesn't do much much in those movies. Jeez, I'm a big fan, as you could tell. I call him that red dude. But yeah, they don't like killing characters that much. I'm like afraid to go out because there's bullets flying at me everywhere, but I don't want to go through the water because then I'll probably die. Where am I going with this? But yeah, you're right. There was no big bloody fight. You know what? I think the appeal of Spider-Man: Homecoming comes from the honestly the less superhero-ish parts, more the fact that you're looking at a high schooler trying to deal with these kinds of things. But really, like, what they always like to focus on are the character elements, the things that have nothing to do with being a superhero. But also, another reason for that is because the superhero stuff tends to cost a lot to do. All those scenes, all those big brawls, those CG effects, stuff costs a lot. These movie industry is scared, I'm telling you. The movie industry is kind of terrified right now because they spend so much money making these blockbuster movies. Oh, I'm gonna die. See, what did I tell you? Get in the water, you die. Water's bad for you. Never, ever touch water. But these characters, well, no, not these characters, these movies, cost literally hundreds of millions of dollars to make. And they're putting out like a 2.5 hour product most of the time when they're spending that kind of money. And sometimes it doesn't work out so well. And the studio takes a bath. They lose a lot of money. And people are not going to the movies like they used to. Movie theaters are kind of dying left and right, especially the more independent ones. Because people are not going to the movies like they used to. And that's probably mostly because of the rise of things like Netflix and Hulu and HBO Now. And just being able to stream a movie directly to your computer. Look at this thing that's kind of tanking on performance here. What's going on? Oh, I know. It's trying to record my last game. I see. I see. Going all over the place here. But, yeah, that is what's going on. I guess you can't break that open, huh? So, yeah, movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make, especially the superhero variety of movies. And when they don't do so well, Hollywood gets scared. That is why, by the way, that is why Disney and before Tim Roth, he was the guy at Fox I was thinking of earlier that was trying to screw up Deadpool. But that's why these studio executives push for PG-13 over the R rating every single time. Because PG-13 rating equals more butts and seats at the theater. More people, more ticket sales, etc., etc., etc. So, if they rated R, they're automatically in their accountants' heads and the executives' heads, they're thinking, okay, well, we're writing off this percentage of people that could potentially see our movie. When we go PG-13, we know we're going to get we're going to cast a wider net. More people will be able to see the movie. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. You think I can make it? Think I can make it? Maybe I should. Nope. 83. So many superhero movies, yes. And that's the other thing I was going to say about that. So, the studios make these super expensive movies, and it's kind of becoming this trend where that's the only thing they want to release in theaters because that's the only thing they know is going to make tons of money. Like these indie movies. Indie movies used to come to theaters, and they still do, but they don't get as many showings. And the more showings you have, the more money you could see, the more money you can make. So when Blade Runner 2049 came out, which was a really cool movie, by the way, but when that came out and it was almost 3 hours long, say the movie's 3 hours when you more than 3 hours when you include trailers in front of it, there's less showings of Blade Runner 2049 that could be seen. So there's less people that can pay for it. Less money is made. And the movie did not do well financially. So we're probably not going to see a Blade Runner sequel ever again, if not for a very long time. That dude's invisible. Okay. He had his invisibility glove on. I don't like this dude because he just killed me. Or maybe not. It's some dude in the same costume that killed me. He doesn't have those stone angel wings. But yeah, so many superhero movies. So many superhero movies are being made. And I don't know. I think theaters are having a rough time. You have things like Movie Pass. You guys know about Movie Pass? I don't know if it's only in America right now, but you pretty much get a credit card, debit card, credit card, whatever, and you just use it to see up to one movie every single day. And you pay a monthly fee for that privilege. I almost did it, actually. I almost signed up for it about a month ago, but haven't done it yet because they had this deal going on where it was a little bit less per month for new subscribers, but you could only pay for a full year up front. And if I wanted to get it for me and my wife, I'd be dropping over $200 on some movies that I don't even know what they are yet, what movies I want to see yet. It's hard to think, oh, I'm saving money on movies when you have to drop $230 up front. Don't feel like you're saving money at that point. It feels like an investment for somebody who already has enough money to see as many movies as they want. But yeah, so I don't know. I think we're gonna see a lot more big movies hit streaming services. Netflix isn't making money. I don't think that they are in the black at all. I don't think they are profitable right now. I believe they're like billions of dollars in debt technically, but they're still a huge, very successful company. But the reason they're so far in debt is because they've spent so much money over the last few years creating original content. That guy killed me in no time. No time at all. No time at all. He just destroyed me. You know what? Maybe we'll play some Rocket League. We'll give this another round. But yeah, so superhero. What am I saying? No, not superhero movies. What the hell was I saying? Oh, big movies hitting Netflix. So you might have heard of a little movie called Bright. We were talking about Will Smith earlier. Netflix produced movie. I think it was like $90 million budget, which is huge for something that doesn't hit theaters. Never came to theaters, Bright. And Will Smith took a big chunk of that $90 million, believe it. But it looks like a big budget Hollywood movie that you've never seen go straight to streaming until a little bit later when the Cloverfield Paradox came out on Super Bowl day, Super Bowl Sunday. Cool Man says last movie you saw in theaters was It. You know, I saw It in theaters too. I don't see most horror movies I don't see in theaters just because I don't trust most horror movies to be good. But It was getting like stellar reviews and it just looked like a pretty good movie just from the trailers. And I already had kind of loosely followed it a little bit. I knew that they were doing a part 2. I thought they were going to do the part 2 in 2018. I thought they were already ahead of it, but I guess part 2 doesn't come out until next year. And that's going to be them as adults. So that'd be cool. But yeah, what'd you think of It? I thought it was pretty good for the most part. I ran into a lot of people that said, "Oh, I didn't think it was scary at all." You know, they always got the hard asses after the fact saying, "Oh yeah, it wasn't scary." I mean, to a certain extent, like I was a G with it. I thought, I wasn't shrieking or anything. They had. I'm pretty good at not getting jump scared, like startled. I think something must have. I think I must have gotten like startled as a child or something to the point where I just became numb to it. Like it's really hard to just like spook me. But there was one moment where like I didn't like jolt out of my seat like a lot of people did, but I had a little, catch that? A little bit of that. And that was when they were watching the slideshow, and Pennywise shows up. That was pretty cool. But what'd you guys think of it? You think it was good? Did you enjoy it? You looking forward to part 2? I am. I think it was a pretty good movie. Like I said, I don't see a lot of horror movies in theaters because most horror movies just end up being garbage. But not this. But also, this movie had a budget, and it was rated R movie, rated R horror movie with a budget. That is rare. That is a rare thing. So the fact that it came out and it succeeded, I think, is good. That same with Logan. Rolling back to superhero movies, but same with Logan. The fact that it was an R-rated movie with a budget, and granted, it probably wasn't nearly the same kind of budget that something like X-Men 3 got, but enough budget where you can tell that these people were spending some money on it to make it look good, sound good, pay some good writers, good director, producers, actors. When an R-rated movie succeeds, that makes me happy. Not just because I love the R rating. It's not the fact that it's rated R. I just feel usually when you have source material that calls for an R rating, it deserves the R rating. And I just don't like to see movies get neutered like that. Like Alien versus Predator. You remember that movie? PG-13, and it showed. It showed. Hey, you know what? I was here last time, I think in my first or second stream of this, and I realized, you got to break out of prison, or you'll never get out. Not that I know where anybody is, but yeah. Most horror movies that are PG-13 are garbage. Yes, I agree. Most of them, and even most of the R-rated ones, I think are garbage too. But horror is a genre that is more miss than hit. But it's because so many people. It's something that you could usually do on a low budget. Not every horror movie needs a budget like it did. And like what was it? It was a really popular series. In fact, I've seen them all, and I can't remember the name of it. That was a lot of spit there. What was it called? The one where everybody's filming themselves. It's a family of people that film themselves constantly, and for some reason, bad things are happening to them. What is the name of this movie? Okay, this guy's... Alright, I'm gonna die. I've got this much health. They don't put a number to it, I guess. But yeah, there was a PG-13 movie I remember liking. PG-13 horror movie I remember liking. That was Insidious. I haven't, re-seen it. I think I only saw it once, but that was pretty good. They managed to kind of keep the tenseness. It was a little like cheeseball, but it was still pretty well done, and they kind of embraced how cheesy it was, and it was still scary. Oh, I was gonna bring up one I liked, but it was rated R, and it's also kind of embracing the silliness, which was Cabin in the Woods. That movie was dope. I should buy that movie. That's a movie worth buying. I keep hearing these bullets flying, and I know I'm going to die. I know I'm running to certain death, even though. Oh my gosh. I should have waited till I went to the cave to do that. Place 39th, though. That's pretty impressive, right? All right. Oh, he was in a bush? Listen, guys. How do I get in the bush? How do I get a bush? How do you pick up the bush and just crawl around in it? Because I'd like to do that. But next time. This time, we're moving on over to Rocket League. Rocket League. So you know what I've noticed in tonight's stream? Got less viewers, and I think that's because it's late. I'm on day 3 of 9, working 9 days in a row. I think I mentioned that in my last stream. And I gotta tell you, working 9 days in a row sucks. But I'm only on day 3, so that sucks even more. But, yeah. Cool, man, you like soccer? Well, then, I think you'll like Rocket League. I think that's what you're getting at, too. Yeah. What's your favorite soccer team? I never followed soccer professionally. I played soccer in 4th grade. That was in the 1990s. And I wasn't great, but there was something that stands out, a memory that stands out to me about 4th grade. What am I trying to say here? 4th grade soccer. Sorry, getting a little distracted. When you multitask, human beings are not good multitaskers. Like now, I just totally changed topics to tell you this, but I played 4th grade soccer, and the memory that sticks out to me the most is the drunk dad that showed up to every single game. Now, the impression I got of this man was that he was not welcome in his son's home. I had a feeling that mom and dad were divorced. At least if she was smart, she wasn't married to that guy. But yeah, so what would happen is this poor kid and poor team, but really this poor kid. We'd have our games on Saturdays, just like pretty much any soccer game would go. And this drunk asshole would show up every time. And he would show up drunk, and he would just be screaming at his kid. I don't remember what that kid's name was, but he'd just be screaming like, "Come on, man! What are you doing out there? You're killing it!" This 40-something-year-old dude who mom probably said, you might want to support your son, show up to some of his games. And this is how he repays his son. He shows up to these games just screaming, like, what are you doing? Like, you're screwing this whole thing up. Why did you pass it to a 4th grader? A 4th grader playing soccer. And it's not competitively. I mean, it was, I guess, competitively to a certain extent. But we weren't going to state. And he'd be on the sidelines just screaming and yelling for the entire game. Entire game. And that's what I remember the most about soccer. And that's why I play Rocket League. So I don't know what the heck's going on with Rocket League right now. It says there's 0 people in this playlist. Maybe it's just that playlist. No. It just says 0 people are online. Congratulations. Congratulations. We are witnessing history because I'm sure this is not a glitch or an error on the servers. This is the first time there have been 0 people playing Rocket League since I started playing. So, I think we can declare Rocket League dead. The game is dead. Nobody's playing Rocket League anymore. Pack it up, guys. I honestly don't know what to do here. Maybe I should quit the game one more time and start over. So, Cool Man says, in the Latino community, soccer gets intense. Man, I know it. I know it. I live in SoCal, Southern California. And man, oh man, oh man. When you live in SoCal, there's a lot of, there's a large Mexican community. They like the soccer. They like the soccer. Not all of them, but a lot of my Mexican friends were big soccer fans. I remember when the World Cup was going on. I was in college. It was a summer. And that was the year that everybody, they were giving out the vuvuzelas. Is that how you call it? That instrument. It's not really an instrument. It's just kind of this long horn that makes that sound. And during the entire World Cup, any game, turn on any game during that World Cup, people were just blasting those things. People in the stands, the audience, were just blasting those vuvuzelas. I think I'm saying that right, but they were just blasting those the entire time. So the entire 3+ hour game, you're just hearing. Oh, look, we have players. We have players. 77,957, in fact. We have fixed Rocket League. You're welcome, Psyonix. That's your name, right? Psyonix, the developer. But yeah. Very popular game, especially in those communities. And I get it to a certain extent. I I think it's fun, and it's even fun to watch. For me, where I get a little less interested in watching it, at least professionally, is when I don't know. I guess maybe I'm a goal whore. Like I like to see more goals, and I know that that's what makes the goals so much sweeter when they happen, though. But I don't know. I guess you can tell because basketball is my favorite sport, and in basketball they're just constantly getting shots in. But it's a little different with soccer. It's kind of like soccer. I kind of equate to hockey in that respect. Enjoyable, but I'd like to see a little bit more goals. So Cool Man says sometimes they're brawls. Yes, that is true. And I'd like to see a little bit more brawls, a la hockey. The thing that I remember most about soccer brawls is this footage. You've probably seen it, but of the I can't remember what team it was, but they were practicing. One of their coaches was blowing a whistle, as you do in practices, and they're jogging in place, and when he blows the whistle, they drop to their feet and pretend like their leg is hurt. And I just lost a lot of respect for whatever team that was, and kind of just the professional aspect of it in general. But could have saved that for us. But with hockey, it's similar to soccer in the sense that there's not that many goals that happen, but my biggest problem with professional hockey is that it's kind of hard to follow the puck. And I don't say that as somebody with bad vision or a bad TV. Now, back in the day in college, I had or at least early in college, I just had a standard CRT, standard definition, smaller TV like everybody else. And finding a hockey puck on that was kind of when the puck stopped for a little bit or really slowed down. And I think hockey could be improved greatly if they would add something akin to what they do in football, where they highlight the field, with the line. Football, man, they got all kinds of fancy tech going on in the NFL. But I'm sure they do with soccer as well, come to think of it. But what they need to do with hockey, this is a billion-dollar idea I'm releasing for free to my 2 viewers, is use that kind of tech on... Look at that. Look at that. I totally planned that goal. That was strategy. All strategy. But what they need to do in hockey is highlight the puck like they do with football, where they highlight the field. Coolman says even racism comes out in soccer. Yeah, I've noticed that, especially because soccer is so much more international. It's a much more international sport than probably any other sport, right? It's the most popular sport in the world, I think. So when you have all these different countries that play against each other, you're bound to run into that racism. You're bound to run into teams that are from countries that dislike another country and will harbor racist thoughts and will say racist things. Like in the what was it? I was gonna say the World Cup. The World Cup of baseball, the World Series, the latest World Series. That player, I forgot his name. He did like the whole Chinese eyes thing at an Asian player. He was making fun of his eyes. He was making fun of, genetics. Most Asian people have, that's to say something that I'm not trying to say. People in general, we can't control the way we look, and he was making fun of the way people look. And that's not something new. Kids used to do that when I was a kid all the time. And obviously kids did it when he was a kid. And I guess when he is not a kid, you're too old for that kind of thing. And he did it after the pitcher, I believe it was an Asian pitcher, pretty much knocked him out the box, buddy. And he got some heat for it. I think probably 20 years ago, nothing would have really happened. But times are a-changin', folks. And he got, I think he got suspended for the rest of the series. Maybe. No. Maybe? I can't remember. Something happened to him. I know he lost some games, at least in the upcoming season. But, yeah. Soccer is a sport that is so international that I'd be surprised to hear it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Just because of how... America's not the only country with racism. America's one of the least... Yeah, what am I trying to say here? America doesn't watch a lot of soccer, is what I'm trying to say. Generally speaking. But just because there's a lot of stereotypes about racist Americans, you can't be an exceptionalist and think that America's the only country that's racist. It's ridiculous. And I'm aware that, in fact, none of you have claimed that America's the only country that's racist. At least not on this chat. But, yeah, that's just my thoughts. I had one more thing I noted that I wanted to talk about. What was that thing? What was that thing? Let me see here. What was that thing? Ah, yes, it's video game related. You like video games? Because I think it's about time we talked about some. Donkey Kong. This is fresh. This is hot. Hot off the press, folks. Don't worry, Rocket League's coming back. But hot off the press. Nintendo of Italy may have inadvertently, well, not inadvertently, purposefully, stupidly revealed that a new Donkey Kong Country game is in development. They wrote, hold on, here I am, getting ready, thinking I already have everything done. They wrote on the Instagram, they put a picture of a Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong toy, and these words in Italian that said, there's no 2 without 3, hashtag Donkey Kong. And then they deleted that tweet, or post. Look at me, I'm pulling things up here, and I'm not even helping my team. Crap. Okay. Come on. Uh-oh. Damn. Alright. So yeah, Donkey Kong Country well, not 3. This would be like Donkey Kong Country 6 or something like that. But another Donkey Kong Country game may be in development right now. And that's freaking some people out. And honestly, I'm a little bit freaked out myself. Because I love Donkey Kong. And I would love for another Donkey Kong Country game to be in development. But I'm hoping, if it is being developed by Retro Studios, the guys who made Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which were great games, by the way. If it's being done by Retro, I hope Retro has 2 development teams working on games right now, because Retro deserves to be making their own IP at this point. I say this all the time if you watch my regular videos on this channel. I say it constantly because this is a company that has been faithfully putting out games for Nintendo's IPs for decades? Well, almost 2 decades now. Which is something that, I mean, like, there are developers out there that have gotten more for less than Retro has. Retro deserves it. Cool Man says, you had Donkey Kong for Nintendo 3DS. Oh, the Returns one, right? Yeah, I had that one for the Wii. Wife and I played it. I think the 3DS one actually might have had a preferable control scheme. Because in the Wii one, you had to play it. I don't think you could play it with a Pro controller. Maybe you could. I don't think so, though. And you pretty much played it single Wiimote, sideways. And the rolling function, which is kind of key to Donkey Kong Country games, could only be used by shaking the remote. And I'm not one of those people that hate all forms of motion control. The slur against it was waggle. Anytime you saw somebody say waggle controls, they were dogging Wii's motion controls. I'm not somebody that hates it, but for a game that required precision like Donkey Kong, making that optional probably would have been a better way to go. And I think that was Nintendo's call not to make it optional. But yeah, what'd you think of Donkey Kong Country Returns for the 3DS? I know that the frame rate was cut in half, I believe, because it ran at 60 frames per second on the Wii, I'm pretty sure, and 30 frames per second on the 3DS. But man, what an accomplishment just getting it to run on the 3DS at all. And they what was I gonna say about that? They are pretty much doing the same thing. Like, that's kind of the story of so many Switch ports right now. Doom. I have Doom on the Switch and the PlayStation 4. But the fact that they got Doom running at all on the Switch, and soon to be Wolfenstein 2, or the, what is it called? New Colossus, something like that. The latest Wolfenstein game. Crap. The fact that they are getting these games to run at all at half the frame rate is impressive. So Coolman says it was a bit frustrating. Yeah. That's something that these retro developed Donkey Kong games are pretty well known for at this point. There's only 2 of them, possibly 3. But yeah, they're hard. The original Donkey Kong Country games, which were developed by Rare, were also hard in some ways, but a lot of the reasons, or a big reason that those games were difficult, the old Super Nintendo ones, was because sometimes they were a little cheap. Like, you could hit a spike that you didn't really touch, or just like things that if Nintendo had developed it internally, they would have made it a lot more like Mario. Mario's a tight game. Like, the controls are very tight. It plays very sharp, you know? But nobody wanted to join this game. But Mario is not Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, especially Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 for the Super Nintendo, were lookers. It was all about the kind of the visual aesthetic and how impressive it was for the time. They were using pre-rendered 3D graphics, which was never seen before to that scale. Very impressive stuff at the time. But when Retro took over, they nailed the gameplay. They made it precise, sharp, quick, a little bit different than the Rare developed games. The Rare developed games were pretty, and for the most part, they played pretty good. I loved them. Wife and I actually still play the original on our SNES Classic. But yeah, when Retro took over with Donkey Kong Country Returns, and especially with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, both of them, they were challenging games. We definitely haven't 100%ed those games at all. In fact, I think in Tropical Freeze, you can 200% the game. I don't know how you do that, but yeah. They are difficult games, and I think that makes them all the more satisfying when you actually beat them. But getting there is hard. You know, we beat Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and we would take breaks from it sometimes, probably sometimes a couple month breaks, just like, I don't know, this game's pissing us off. And we didn't even know it at the time, but we took a big break from it because we were stuck on this boss. Finally, we beat it, only to find out that it was the last boss in the game. We were just waiting to beat the last boss. We didn't even know it. But speaking of the last boss, I think this game's gonna be my last boss. It's hot in SoCal. It's still March, but we're sweating like a mug, and my wife gets cold pretty easy, so we've had the heater on for a minute, which I think I'm going to fix that little problem soon. Ah, I missed it. And also, I've got some bright lights on me. But you know what? This guy's carrying this game pretty well for us. And I think it's obvious that I kind of like soccer. I do like soccer. But I like playing it in race cars, little RC cars, the most, I think. Oh, you know what? I'm blasting on my my boost like I think I have unlimited, like in the drop shot mode. But alas, that is not the case. Okay, that's skill right there. That's skill. Damn. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for watching. Cool, man. You've been great. My silent viewer, you've been great as well. I just appreciate everything you bring to the table. And if you can't tell, this heat's starting to get to me. But that's what I was about to complain about, because you haven't heard enough complaints lately. This heat. I know I already kind of touched on it a lot, but it's March. I think Southern California is going to fall off the face of the earth. The face of the earth. Because I live next to the, well, I don't want to tell you too much, but I live pretty close to the San Andreas Fault. And if you don't know, it's pretty much, I think, the same fault that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was named after. It runs through Southern California, and it's due for the big one. Well, you probably know, I didn't see the movie, but I believe that's what that movie The Rock was in, came out a couple years ago, was about. It's called San Andreas. And we've been expecting the big one. I think we're overdue for the next big earthquake on that fault. We've been overdue for a few years now, I think. Or it's coming up within the next 10 or so is what I've been hearing. And when that happens, all my life I've pretty much been told that we're falling into the ocean. I mean, I don't know to what extent that will really take, how true that is. But it pretty much means that we're going to be in trouble. This is a state that, like I said, is very hot and isn't... I could have gotten that goal. I could have gotten it. But I think I'm still going to get the... Oh, I thought I was going to get the point. What am I trying to say to you here? This is a state without water. That's what I'm trying to get at. I've been jumping all around, but that's the point. We don't have any water, and we are on a huge fault line that is ready to blow. So, no water and a huge natural disaster in the works equals a bad time. You're not going to have a good time without water, and the only water you have is new oceanfront property because your state just rattled. So Coolman says they said the same thing to Seattle, but it never happened. Now, did Seattle have a huge earthquake? Because the earthquake they're predicting here for California is, I want to say like an 11.0 or something crazy. Maybe 11 or maybe 14, I can't remember. But I want to say at least 11. That's a big earthquake. That's a big earthquake. And our infrastructure, even though we've built our buildings to earthquake codes, I don't know what level they're at, but I don't know. Part of me is talking out of my ass here, but another part of me knows that there's got to be some truth to this because, I mean, it's not like a conspiracy theory or anything. There's actual geologists have been saying this for decades now. But I don't know. I personally would not like to lose everything to an earthquake and drought. Now, Seattle is in no shortage of water because it rains there like every day, doesn't it? It's like our own little Britain, right? Or London. I don't know, where does it rain a lot? But it doesn't rain in Southern California. We had our little bits of rain a few weeks ago, and it's nothing compared to what Seattle gets, or really practically any other part of the country gets. It's hot all the time. Like I said, it's March, and I think today's high was 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So, yeah, I don't know. Just part of me is a little pessimistic about the future of Southern California, or lack thereof. So you said they said it around the mid-2000s. Okay, now I'm not up to snuff on my giant earthquakes But to a certain extent, I feel like I'm in the general know. But did Seattle actually have that big earthquake yet? I know they said, you said that they said the same thing about Seattle, but it never happened. But are you saying the earthquake never happened, or Seattle never went into the ocean? Because I agree with you. Seattle has not gone into the ocean. I'm with you 100% on that. But has Seattle had that giant earthquake yet? That is my question. I don't know. California's day is coming. That's what I'm worried about. And it's just like, you know, if that's true, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I working? Why am I working a job that you don't really like doing? And, you know, why am I not just blowing all my money on fun? I guess because I don't know when this earthquake's gonna happen. But, you know, I just got the new TV, the new 4K TV, new sound system, and it'd be a shame. It'd be a real shame if it all just went into the ocean or just fell. Even just if it fell into the ground, I wouldn't be too happy, you know. Stuff is expensive. But, you know what? We've got an hour and 21 minutes now. And you guys have been awesome. I thank you very much for watching. You know, we're gonna kick this thing into first gear and then neutral and park because we're done. Mr. Rogers is putting his shoes back on and he is saying goodbye. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time with a brand new stream and maybe a brand new game. I don't know. But please, like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it. Also, follow UPNLOADED on Facebook and Twitter. In fact, let me just pop that right up here for you. Follow us there. And that way, you'll know. You'll know every time. You'll know every time we're doing anything. So, thanks for watching. You guys have been great. Subscribe for more if you have not already. Just stay subscribed if you are. And, you know, every little bit counts. Comment. You know, you can comment on this video even after the video is no longer live. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, what you'd like me to talk about. Next video might not be a stream. I'll probably do a more traditional kind of video where I rant, rave, all by my lonesome, no headphones or microphones. Well, there's going to be a microphone. You just won't see it. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Adios.